So now you have had this really cool experience, and if you read the reviews online of Magic Castle, everybody's talking about this popsicle hotline is amazing. What is CX? It's every single touch point that you have along the way with your customer. And so the more that you can build your brand by having a good customer experience, the less you're going to have people searching for you on this long journey, and the more you're going to have people coming to you direct. That's what Visa, Zappos, Silicon Valley Bank, Nordstrom, and Workday have managed to accomplish with theirs. So some CX stats, there's all kinds of cool stats. For example, acquisitions cost is 3 to 30 times less for companies with a great customer experience. 40% of the people that leave a monthly recurring revenue program leave because of a poor customer experience. If you have a good customer experience, your retention is typically 2.7 times that of people who give a poor. People who have a great customer experience will generally pay up to 18% more for the thing that they've got. And if it's a premium brand, that could be 1,000% more. 64% of the people say that they are more concerned in making a purchase decision with the customer experience they believe they'll have than the price. That's a lot, 64%. And people that have a good customer experience will refer up to 9 times more people, whereas if they have a bad one, they will tell 16 times as many people that you suck. Okay? Now, if we look at that as stats, to me, it's hard to say, how does that actually impact my company? So I like to say, per $100,000 for acquisition, if you could lower your acquisition 67% with a good customer experience, from 100 to 33, you're saving $67,000 a month. Let's say you're spending 100 grand a month in acquisition. Sales, you got $100,000 in sales a month, you can charge 18% more, you just picked up 18,000 per 100. That's significant. If you could increase your top line by 18% just by doing that, that's pretty significant. MRR churn, you got $48,000 a month. You reduce that to 18 because you got a good customer experience, $360,000 a year. And referrals, 9 times as many versus not. Huge difference. So how do we do this in an exercise? We identify every single touch point that our customers have. Every single touch point, pre-purchase, purchase, post-purchase. That means everything. Flyers, searches, emails, webinars, reviews online. And then in the purchase section, there's a million things in purchase that we forget about. We usually spend all of our time here. And we never really think about this, or we're thinking, how can we optimize and get a little bit more? But that's usually like blue button versus red button and that kind of stuff. And then we frequently forget here. But remember, in post-purchase, people care. Purchase, add to cart, your view cart, customer login, guest checkout, pre-populate the data in the checkout. Can they do a one-click purchase? Can they edit the cart to add and remove? I freaking hate it when I can't. It really pisses me off. Can they zoom in to get detail? Does it have a persistent cart? So anyway, all of this stuff you should be looking at with your business. Is it consistent along every step of the customer journey? So that's going to take some time for you to do, but definitely take the time to do it. I give you a sheet to kind of brainstorm it on. And then find out what your customers are thinking. There's a whole bunch of ways to do that, depending on whether you have a retail store or not. 14 of them. You can use social listening. There's software that does it, focus groups, in-app surveys, just an idea box, NPS surveys. There's all kinds of things you can do, but find out what your customers are saying and thinking. And the best way to do that, to do it methodically, is to do what we call Fab 50. So FAB is feelings, actions, and beliefs. Reach out to 50 of your customers and ask them about their customer experience with you and say, what were you feeling the first time you saw our ad? What were the actions that you took the first time that you saw our ad? What is your belief about the market, the actions that you take, our website, whatever? So you'll end up filling this in and you'll find things out like, I'm nervous if it's not Amazon. Well, that's a feeling. I'm not comfortable buying from a site I don't know. That's something worth knowing. Do you sell your products on Amazon? Like you just found out somebody wants to buy there and they're not comfortable buying from your site. Or I always look for coupon codes. That's an action. So I search for a discount code before I make a purchase. Do you have the option on your site to enter a coupon code? Have you split tested it and seen that people convert better with or without it? Okay? Or beliefs. I won't pay for shipping. That's a belief. I believe all merchants should offer free shipping. So you want to do this, reach out and ask these questions and do it to 50 customers. It will be revelatory for you. It really will. Then how can you optimize your customer experience? Well, there's this thing called the peak end rule that's really interesting, and it says that throughout every stage of our customer journey, we have ups and downs. We have positive customer experiences, negative customer experiences. And the big dips and the big peaks of happiness and the end, we tend to merge all together into really only remembering, because most of us are positive people, we usually just remember the big peak and the finish. So what you want to do is think about, how can I design peaks? And how can I avoid pits? And along the way, if you chart this out and say, my customers are sometimes happy not, you can figure these peaks and pits out if you do Net Promoter Score or CSAT scores, which I'll tell you about in a second, right? If you're measuring along the way, then you know, and you can say, geez, so I've got an agency, and when we have everybody come on board, they're excited because they're like, I am dumping all of my marketing onto Terry. I am so freaking excited. I don't have to do this stuff anymore. And then Terry says, okay, so I need all your ads. I need access to your AdWords account. I need to be your Facebook management. And they're like, well, this sucks. This isn't what we wanted. Terry's supposed to do this. So how can you fix that? So our goal is, we know this is a pit. How can we flip that pit and make it a peak? Well, one of the ways that we have found through some of our CPs, our Certified Partners at Digital Marketer, is they will fly the customer in. They'll have the customer fly in with all the decision makers that are needed to do all of those things. And in one day, they just knock it all out, and they talk about the plan, and they have lunch and all kinds of cool stuff, liquor them up a little bit, put them in their car to drive home. It's really great, right? So that's something to think about, is how can I flip the pits? And ideally, even if they have the peak end rule says, even if they have a negative experience or two, their end rating of the overall experience is not an average of all these ups and downs. Like, they don't say, this is a 4, this is a 7, this is a -3, this is a -2. The average of that, it's just, hey, I remember that good thing, and I remember that it was good when I left. So what we want to do is think about designing positive beginnings. Design surprise and delight peaks. A really good example of a surprise and delight peak that people remember is, there is a so-so motel kind of thing here in California, up in LA, called the Magic Castle. The Magic Castle is basically like any other motel, except that while you are lounging around the pool, so it's basically like a pool in the middle of the thing, standard, you've seen it a million times, there is a bright red phone on the wall. And so it can get hot here in California, and if you walk over to the phone, you will see that it says on it, Popsicle Hotline. If you pick up the phone, not surprisingly, someone says, Popsicle Hotline, may I help you? And you're like, I don't know, what do you guys do? Well, we bring popsicles. So they then will come out, and they could just put a barrel of popsicles there and no phone, and that would be a different customer experience, but they come out with white glove, silver tray and say, here, sir, is your popsicle, right? So now you have had this really cool experience, and if you read the reviews online of Magic Castle, everybody's talking about, this Popsicle Hotline is amazing. It's a frickin' popsicle, right? But they have high reviews, and they have the ability to charge prices similar to much nicer hotels because they do this, and people remember that one thing. They do a couple other things too. You get free Kit Kats. I mean, come on. So then design customer experience ending peaks as well, and then flip the pits is, to me, the big thing. How can you flip the pits? If you know their ups and downs, don't just live with them. Don't just be happy that they usually remember the peak. Don't just design a peak. Also flip the pits and make the whole daggone experience better. And then celebrate milestones. So the biggest client complaints overall of all client complaints, number one is communication. Number 2 is they're waiting too long. Your customers are getting shuffled around from place to place, person to person. You don't seem to care. You overpromise, you underdeliver, and you just don't listen. Biggest business issues that we have is getting clients, keeping them, attracting top talent, managing expectations, getting results, and keeping up with industry changes. Well, the cool thing about this is that if we just work on communication, we fix pretty much all these things. And it just has to be intentional. You just have to take the time to think about it. So if you can communicate with people that they're gonna wait, like Disney does with the Happy Mouse that says only 15 minutes more in this line, right? Then you're not as mad when it's 15 minutes before you get to the ride. If you can tell your customer service personnel, you can give them the power to do what they need to do and tell them what's going to happen down the road and don't keep them in the dark, they can tell the customer and communicate better, and then they're not going to get shuffled around, the customer. If you communicate that you care, and you do, then that's a good thing, right? If you have a spouse or significant other and you tell them you love them, then they're going to appreciate that. If you love them and don't tell them, that's less good. If you have a customer and you love them, tell them how much you appreciate them. We appreciate you, right? It's very simple. Overpromising and underdeliver, just be honest. Daggone, just be honest. And listen actively. That helps. If you do those things, then people are happy. It's going to cause you to get more clients. It's going to help you keep them longer. Because it's a happier place to work, you'll get the better quality talent, and you'll be managing the customer expectations right from the beginning, so it won't be a problem because you didn't underpromise and underdeliver, or you didn't overpromise and underdeliver, and you'll be able to get the results you need. The only thing it really doesn't help you with is adapting to industry changes.